Ask me a question I could answer right now that only people with the top 10% knowledge of mathematics would know the answer to.
Sure. Here's a question. What is the Riemann hypothesis, and why is it important in number theory?
I don't know. What is it?
Is a famous unsolved problem in mathematics. It conjectures that all non-trivial zeros of the Riemann zeta function have a real part of 0.5. This hypothesis is crucial because it has deep implications for the distribution of prime numbers.
You ask me another question that only someone in the top 1% of mathematics skill or knowledge would know.
All right, here's another one. Can you explain the significance of the eigenvalue in linear algebra and its applications in different fields?
Nope. What is it?
Eigenvalues are special scalars in linear algebra that, when multiplied by a vector, called an eigenvector, result in the same vector scaled up or down. They're crucial in many applications, including stability analysis, quantum mechanics, and even Google's PageRank algorithm.
Speaking of Google, ask me a question that only someone with a top 10% knowledge of Google Ads would know.
Sure. What is quality score in Google Ads, and how does it affect your ad performance and cost?
Quality score is a metric created by Google that is designed to approximate how high quality your ad is. So this is based on how high of a quality experience the user who clicks the ad receives. It includes the keyword, how relevant the ad is to the keyword, and then how relevant the landing page is to the ad.
Exactly. Quality score is indeed a measure of the relevance and quality of your keywords, ads, and landing pages. A higher quality score can lead to better ad placements and lower costs per click. Great job.
Okay, now ask me something only a top 1% Google Ads manager would know.
Sure. How does Google Ads auction time bidding work, and what role does machine learning play in this process?
Sorry, to clarify, are you talking about how does the auction mechanism work in general as it relates to time of day the ads are shown, or is auction time its own specific function?
Auction time bidding is a specific function in Google Ads. It leverages machine learning to optimize bids in real time during each ad auction. Do you want to know more about how it works?
Well, I understand generally how that works. It's as an advertiser, I could set my desired metric, whether it's cost per lead, cost per click, cost per impression, and then I could also set parameters about what time of the day I want the ad to be shown. I could use bid adjustments to increase the likelihood the ad is shown during certain times of the day. But all of those actions are based on machine learning and an auction related to all the other advertisers advertising and competing for the same clicks for similar keywords. So when I would imagine when I use auction time bidding, the Google's machine learning is going to enable my campaign to show the ad at the specific position on the page at the specific time that will maximize my ROI, which would be ad spend spent versus the end goal conversion goal achieved.
That's a great summary. Auction time bidding indeed uses Google's machine learning to adjust bids in real time, considering various factors like device, location, time of day, and user behavior. This helps to maximize the likelihood of achieving your desired goals efficiently. Great understanding.
Ask me something that only a top 1% meta ads manager would know.
Sure. Can you explain the concept of the Facebook Power 5 and how it transforms ad campaign performance?
No, what's the Facebook Power 5? This kind of sounds like meta propaganda, but what is it actually? You tell me.
The Facebook Power 5 refers to 5 automated tactics that can optimize ad performance: auto advanced matching, campaign budget optimization, automatic placements, dynamic ads, and simplified account structure. These strategies leverage machine learning to improve efficiency and results. It's a game changer for campaign management.
Okay, I'm familiar with that. I just haven't referred to it as the Power 5. Where does that terminology, the Power 5, originate from?
The term Power 5 was introduced by Facebook, now Meta, to encapsulate these 5 automated strategies. It's essentially a branding term they coined to highlight the importance of these tools for maximizing ad efficiency. It might sound a bit like marketing jargon, but it's become a common term in the digital marketing world.
Definitely marketing jargon. But ask me a question about that focuses on the ability to generate client end results, not something that Meta tries to push in their training sessions, which most people don't go to because they're just covertly trying to get you to spend more ad spend.
Got it. Here's a practical question. How would you optimize a meta ads campaign to improve lead generation for a local business with a limited budget?
Yeah, it's a very general question. I mean, first of all, it's going to come down to the ad copy and how good the creative is. That's about 90% of it. On top of that, we'd use dynamic ad creative. So we'd split test up to 10 creatives, five descriptions, five headlines. So there's hundreds of permutations of the ad running at any time. And then we would evaluate results. However, generally speaking, when it comes to targeting, while Facebook suggests that users use detailed targeting. If it's a local business advertising to a population of less than a couple million, it's generally better to have very, very broad targeting options.
That's a solid approach. Focusing on high quality ad creatives and broad targeting can indeed yield great results, especially for local businesses with limited budgets. It's all about testing and iterating to find what resonates best with the target audience.
Okay, ask me something that only a top 10% entrepreneur would know.
Sure. What are key performance indicators, KPIs, that you prioritize when scaling a business from early stage to growth stage?
I mean, it really depends on the industry and the business type, but at very high level, revenue, profit margin, revenue earned per employee, growth rate, cost per lead generated, closing percentage of leads into new customers, and then cost to acquire a new customer versus LTV of the customer would ultimately be that ratio will ultimately be what two of the most important KPIs in scaling a company, and that will determine the ROI in adding money to the company, whether it's the owners putting money in or raising money. It's what's the cost to acquire a new customer versus what's the LTV of that new customer to the business.
That's a comprehensive list. Tracking those KPIs is crucial for understanding growth and efficiency. Prioritizing metrics like customer acquisition cost versus lifetime value can indeed drive smarter scaling decisions. Great insights.
Is there anything I missed?
You covered the essentials well. Depending on the business, other KPIs like churn rate, customer satisfaction, and operational efficiency might also be important. But you hit the key points for growth.
I would say operational efficiency is not a KPI. That's just a general idea.
That's a fair point. Operational efficiency is more of a concept that can be measured through specific KPIs like productivity, cost efficiency, and turnaround times. These can all contribute to the bigger picture of scaling effectively. You definitely nailed the core KPIs though.
Also, productivity is not a KPI. That's a concept as well.
That's a good distinction. KPIs would be more specific, like revenue per employee or units produced per hour. Thanks for clarifying. You definitely have a strong grasp on what matters most for scaling a business.
Ask me a question that only someone with the top 10% knowledge of philosophy would know.
Sure. How does the concept of the will to power in Nietzsche's philosophy differ from traditional notions of power and authority?
Don't know. Ask me another one.
All right, how about this? What is the Euthyphro dilemma in philosophy of religion, and why is it significant?
One more.
Sure. What is the difference between Kant's concepts of phenomena and noumena? And why are they important in his epistemology?
All right, ask me something a little bit easier.
No problem. How about this? What does Plato's allegory of the cave represent in terms of knowledge and perception?
I believe Plato's allegory of the cave is about something casting shadows onto the cave wall, and then the people in the cave looking at the cave wall and only seeing the shadows. And the shadows don't represent the real thing. It's just the essentially the gaps in light left by the sun hitting the real thing. So it's it really represents that like, the importance of getting to the root of knowledge, the root cause of phenomenon in the world, and not just looking at the shadows, which would be kind of the effect. And a lot of people make
That's
decisions, but they make decisions based on looking at the shadows, looking at the second and third order effects of the real thing, but they miss out on the root cause of it. For example, let's just say there's a big homeless problem, which is true in the my home city of Vancouver. Someone could say, "Hey, the problem here is that there's too many homeless on the street," but that's actually kind of the shadow. The root cause would be cost of living, mental health, and drug addiction.
exactly. Plato's allegory of the cave is all about distinguishing between mere appearances and deeper realities. It's a powerful metaphor for understanding how deeper insights often lie beyond the surface. Your application to real world issues like homelessness is spot on. It highlights the importance of addressing root causes rather than just symptoms.
All right, one final question here. Ask me, you come up. We've talked about math, Google Ads, meta ads, and philosophy. Come up with a new topic and then ask me a question that only someone in the top 10% knowledge of that topic would know.
All right, let's try a different topic. In the context of blockchain technology, what is the significance of the Byzantine Generals problem, and how does it relate to achieving consensus?
Give me a hint.
Sure. The Byzantine Generals problem is about ensuring all parties in a network agree on a single strategy, even if some are unreliable. It's crucial for blockchain consensus mechanisms.
When you say they all agree on the same strategy, even if some are unreliable, does that mean some of the generals are unreliable or some of the strategies are unreliable?
It means some of the generals, or participants, might be unreliable or malicious. So the goal is to reach
I
consensus
see.
despite.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
definitely a trick.
No, let me answer. I think yeah,
Sure.
with the Byzantine general problem, it's basically the problem is you have a consensus, but some of the nodes in the consensus aren't can't be relied upon. So I think really the way to solve it would be in order for a consensus to be reached, there needs to be a certain number of nodes that all agree. Let's just say, I don't know, I'll make up a number. Let's just say you have to have 10 nodes that all agree. Then even if two of them are unreliable, that doesn't change the end result because the other eight are reliable. So I don't know the exact number when it comes to blockchain, but I do know that when you send a transaction, they have to wait for multiple points of approval. So I imagine that's the consensus. Whereas once a certain number of data points agree, then the odds that the final result is unreliable, caused by a couple of the nodes being unreliable, would be exponentially low.
Exactly. The Byzantine Generals problem is about achieving consensus despite potential unreliable nodes. Blockchain solves this by requiring a majority consensus, making it difficult for unreliable or malicious nodes to affect the outcome. Great job explaining it.
Tell me the story of how this arose from, I assume, the Byzantine Empire and their generals.
The Byzantine Generals problem is a thought experiment named after the Byzantine Empire. It describes a situation where multiple generals, each commanding a portion of an army, need to agree on a common battle plan. The challenge is that some generals might be traitors, sending false messages. This scenario illustrates the difficulty of reaching consensus in a decentralized system with potential faults. It was first formalized in computer science to illustrate challenges in distributed computing and network security.
And is this a true story? Were some Byzantine generals traitors that messed up the battle plan?
No, it's not based on a true historical event. It's a theoretical scenario created to explain problems in distributed systems, highlighting the difficulties in achieving consensus when some participants might be faulty or malicious.
Okay, I got it. Why is it related to the Byzantine Empire and not something else like the Roman Empire?
The term Byzantine was chosen to evoke the idea of complexity and potential treachery, which are historically associated with the Byzantine Empire.
Hmm.
It emphasizes the intricate and sometimes unreliable nature of communication in a distributed system. The name is metaphorical rather than historical.
Interesting, but it's based on the fact that there was a lot of complexity and treachery within the Byzantine Empire in general.
Yes, exactly. The Byzantine Empire was known for its complex politics and frequent internal conflicts, which makes it a fitting metaphor for the problem. It captures the essence of dealing with unreliable or potentially deceitful communication in distributed systems.
Okay, thank you. Well, there you have it. ChatGPT quizzing me on multiple areas of life. Let me know what you think.